Paladins. Paladins are warrior clerics, with more warriors than clerics. Paladins are large warriors, heavily muscled, of a taller than average height. Paladins are usually heavily armored and may enchant their armor for added protection. They are very strong and are good with a large weapon, such as a broadsword or a large axe. Paladins usually are well armored, like a knight, but not as much. A good starting outfit for a paladin is a big sword, shield, decent armor, a large crossbow, a short sword, and an average warhorse. Paladins have the innate ability to sense evil. They can sense up to a mile away at full strength, or can tune their sensing down to as far as they want. Evil creatures can also sense the good radiating from a paladin and will usually attack when they sense it. A truly evil person or creature hates a paladin more than anything else. Paladins can do magic, but not to the extent of wizards and clerics. They can do 3 major spells, or 6 minor spells before their magic is used up. Paladins are the justice arms of their gods. They travel around and are the judge, jury, and if need be, the executioner. A paladin usually doesn't pick his/her deity. Usually, the deity picks the paladin. A deity may take the form representing itself, such as a glowing warrior, and ask the paladin to go on missions or bestow gifts on the paladin to help them finish missions. The sage should pick the deity that the paladin most represents. For example, if the paladin always tries to heal companions and take care of them, then the deity of healing would probably pick the paladin. A paladin has mana for 13 spell slots. When a deity picks a champion, the paladin can now receive all the clerical spells of that deity and instantly gets all the starting spells that all clerics begin with: web, wall, lifting, light heal. A paladin would not be picked until he or she has been adventuring for a while and has shown themselves to be a true friend of the deity that they are hoping for sponsorship from, and they have already completed 3 to 5 missions for their deity. The spells that paladins start with are the following. Light. Caster can create a ball of light to see by or light up an area for a time. Duration is dice dependent. Healing. Paladins can heal themselves very well, and after a short time, they can heal others in their group, though not to the extent of a cleric. Healing power, till chosen, depends on the experience of the paladin. Farsight. Caster can see long distances, up to half a mile in a straight line. The following are some of the spells that a paladin has the chance to get. Minor spells. Enchant weapon. Causes a regular/magical weapon to become enchanted. The weapon is now able to smash through armor and shields. In the case of arrows, it acts like a small missile. Duration is dice dependent. Enchant armor. The target's armor is increased in power and can take many more hits. Duration is dice dependent. Strength upgrade. Causes the caster/companion to have a doubling in strength. Duration is dice dependent. Blinding light. Causes a light that will cause blindness to all, except for the caster, who looks at it. Duration is dice dependent. Fear. Causes the enemy to run in fear from the caster. Duration is dice dependent. Harmonize. The caster can change their voice to match any voice they have ever heard. Duration is dice dependent. Stunning. Causes an enemy to become stunned. Duration is dice dependent. Mark. The caster makes it so that she knows where the target is. Duration is dice dependent. Hardness. The caster's weapon/arrow becomes strengthened to a super hardness and is thus able to penetrate armor or doors much easier. Duration is dice dependent. Blinding weapons. Causes all the target's weapons to become exceedingly shiny and reflect all light in the area. Does not affect the target. Duration is dice dependent. Lionheart. Causes the target to only want to help the companions out. Duration is dice dependent. Pegasus. The steed of the caster grows wings and can fly. Duration is dice dependent. Mid-level spells. Dews of Heaven. Causes a mist to settle on an area 5 foot x 5 feet, and all in the mist is healed. Duration is dice dependent. The undead in the mist is heavily damaged, if not destroyed, depending on the strength of the undead. Sound Lance. The caster creates a lance made of sound that can pierce any non-magical armor. The lance does terrible damage to the undead. Duration is dice dependent. Steel bands. Steel bands wrap up a target. Duration is dice dependent. If the target is undead, the band will cause damage to the undead. Rhino charge. The caster can charge the target with the force of a rhinoceros. Gauntlets of power. Caster's gauntlets become superpowered and can smash through armor and material. Does extra damage to undead. Duration is dice dependent. Rebuke. The caster causes the target to not want to battle with him, her anymore. Duration is dice dependent. Holy Spear. The caster casts a spear of light at the target. This spear hits with twice the power of a normal spear and does massive damage to the undead. Duration is dice dependent. Holy Traps. The caster lays traps that either detect, hold, burn, or freeze an enemy. Once cast, the traps will be in effect till the caster turns them off or they expire after 12 hours. Moonblade. The caster creates a blade of choice out of moonlight to fight with. Duration is dice dependent. The blade causes great damage to the undead and blinds all evil beings that look at it. Holy Tune. The caster sings a song that causes all minor undead who hear it to become stunned for 3 rounds. Major undead will get confused and may flee. Ferocity. The caster causes the target to become exceedingly ferocious, and the target can now take 3 to 4 mortal hits before being stopped. Duration is dice dependent. Ball of Power. Caster throws a softball-sized ball of pure power at the target. Holy Steed. Caster calls forth a huge warhorse to fight on. This horse has extra strength, endurance, and speed. Duration is dice dependent. Reverse. The caster causes the current non-magical attack to turn back on the attacker. Dream Walker. The caster can leave his physical body and move around as a specter for up to 1/2 mile. This specter can pass through solid objects and is only detected by magical means. Duration is dice dependent. Multicolored Shield. The caster creates a shield of 4 colors. Red blocks fire, white blocks ice, gray blocks range attacks, and orange blocks magical spells. The shield can take 4 hits for each color before it no longer stopping that substance. Ooze. The caster can slip through any space or opening, no matter how small. Duration is dice dependent. Major spells. Divine Blight. Caster brings forth an area, 10 foot x 10 feet, blessed by their deity that causes massive damage to the undead in that area. If the caster is in the area / she quickly heals from any wounds. Duration is dice dependent. Holy Lance. The caster creates a lance of pure light that causes damage to evil beings, especially the undead. Duration is dice dependent. Godly Rage grants the caster a massive energy bonus against evil, and especially undead monsters. Drains magical reserves very quickly. This spell can be turned off at will. Dragon Might. Caster receives the strength of a small dragon. Duration is dice dependent. Glory. The caster acquires a brightly glowing aura around them that blinds all evil beings that look at it. It will cause the undead to become weak and collapse. Duration is dice dependent. Bolt of the Deity. A massive magical bolt of pure power is blasted at the target. This bolt will melt all minor undead, hurt major undead, and cause truly evil beings to be knocked down and become unconscious. Duration is dice dependent. Spike Guardian. Caster can transform into a spiked beast, half human, half dragon. The beast has great strength, agility, and speed, and can breathe fire. Duration is dice dependent. Weapon of the Deity. The caster creates a mighty weapon of their choice to fight with. This weapon causes massive damage to undead and evil beings. Duration is dice dependent. Tunnel Travel. The caster opens a tunnel that she can walk through to get to a destination. The caster must see the beginning and see, or have seen, the end. Fist of Justice. Caster calls forth a giant flying metal gauntlet to crush the enemy. Duration is dice dependent. The gauntlet obeys the mental commands of the caster. Apocalyptic Companion. Caster calls forth a mighty warrior companion bearing a magical red sword to protect him for a time. Duration is dice dependent. Companion is very powerful against evil and especially undead beings. This companion will shrug off all non-magical attacks.